And we're here. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It is Sunday night. It is the 12th of November. My name is Ben Reeve, and this is The Hoop Show. And joining me, shall we say, as usual, I think we can say that now. It's been a few weeks in a row. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Paul James. Welcome, Paul, the latest to Vic D from the Big Brother house. How are you feeling on the outside world, Paul?
Wouldn't know anything about Big Brother. It requires people to watch it. So, and apparently they're not getting people watching it. So
no, they've sexed it up a little bit. I've gone too far the other way, but
is that what they're doing these days? Like they're really trying to just get everyone, to make ends meet, for want of a better phrase.
It's a bit like Love Island, which I have never watched, but that's
so that you get the gist of that one pretty clearly. So yeah, okay, fair enough.
Mate, I am in a tip-top mood because the Cats had a win today against the Bombers. Poor old Bombers don't know how to win finals. Can't win them. Won't win them. Haven't won one in 3,000 days or thereabouts.
No. Let's get your stats right. It's over 7,000. It's been 19 years.
Did I say? Oh, geez, I've helped
7,004 to be. Sorry, 7,008 to be exact. Hang on, I got it on my phone. I saw that you'd made the typo, and I thought I'd just hold for the actual show to correct. 7,008 days.
Paul, you know it's not a hoop show without a couple of typos here or there, or some absolute humdingers the other way. But all right, mate, let's pull up the results for the day. Let's get this going. What do you reckon? Pretty good win there for the Catters. 18 points in the end?
Yeah, Q in the rack. You feel like that probably occurred midway to late in the third even. You started to see a few players dial things down. And, of course, you factor in that we had injuries and those sorts of things into the mix as well, and a very cautious approach through the second half. Certainly not the just playing a game of two halves that we've kind of seen from the Cats throughout the season. I felt like it was a full quarter effort, but with some conditions that they'd kind of imposed upon themselves. So anyway, the Cats 7-9-51, beating the Bombers 5-3-33. Our player of the week, Maloney with 2 goals, 1. Jackie Parry with 1 goal, 2. Shear and a host of others with singles. Whilst on the disposal front, you've got Georgie Prespakis and Becky Webster with 23 apiece, Amy Mack with 21. Whilst for the Bombers, well, I mean, you've got a Prespakis dominating on one side. You need a Prespakis doing the job on the other. Maddie with 2 goals straight. Too Good, which is just a fantastic name. Shame she couldn't get the win considering with 1 goal, 2. So not too good in front of the sticks.
Not good enough, apparently. Anyway.
Yeah. Gamble with a single, and then Nance Cowan with 21.
That was a hard one for me.
Maddie Prespakis with the 20 and Too Good with 19 for the Bombers. But honestly, the Cats never really let them in. The full match stats really kind of show that there was not a moment where the Cats were taking it kind of easy on them. They were really kind of from moment one all over them. And obviously we know about this because within the first 30 seconds was one of the most seamless pieces of play that you'll see from any team all season. From the center straight through the big sticks at the end. It was beautiful. But yes, statistically speaking, there's not a stat that we didn't have them covered outside of the free kick out. So
we'll come to that. So thank you for that summary, Paul. So as this show, if you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. This is the Hoop Show. My name is Paul, and this is my name is Ben, and this is Paul. Other way around. We're going to review the game today. Clearly, we will cast an eye ahead to the following Sunday, a semi-final against Melbourne, and we might also have, if we got time, we'll have a chat about some other news going on in the AFL world, especially if it's got a Geelong flavour to it. But mate, what a victory! It was our first win too in a final. I can't remember the last time I went to a final. We didn't actually play in the men's one, did we?
So, no, we didn't play in the men's. So 2002 grand final was the last successful final I saw.
But I was at the game today. I absolutely loved it. The weather was fantastic. Felt like there was about 15,000 people there, but I think the official number was 6.5, roundabout something like that. They opened up one wing and pretty much you couldn't get a seat. We had to walk around looking for seats, and normally you roll straight in and it's not an issue. But first time in a while where they were actually close, I reckon, to opening up another stand.
Section. That's all right.
That's pretty good. So unfortunately, though, it's the only home final we're going to get. So that's the breaks for not finishing higher up the ladder. Top 4 finish next year maybe, and we'll get a couple of home finals. And don't we love it in a home final?
Dangerous to say in the last couple of days about it.
Mate. But that opening 30 seconds of the game was just scintillating footy. I think Prespakis got out of the middle, found
straight down Shear's throat
from 40 metres away. Shear just spins around. finds Maloney on a lead. It was beautiful. Absolutely. And Maloney goes back, and we'll talk about her a little bit, I'm sure, on the show, but she went back and slotted it through, and it's like, here we go. We are on. But a little part of my brain was saying, we did this last time we played the Bombers up in Warrnambool. We got out to a hot start, and then nothing after that.
I mean, we do it to a lot of teams. We by a long, long way, the best starting team in the comp. But then the foot comes off the gas, as I kind of mentioned before, and we end up blowing it. So it was nice to see that wasn't the case today.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So we somehow found a way to keep it going for 3 quarters, and I think, as you said, we put it in the rack after that. Enough, job done. Let's put Prasparkas on the bench for pretty much the 4th quarter. She didn't get a touch in the 4th quarter. You can't get a touch if you're not on the park. But as I said, really good crowd, fantastic energy. The crowd was up and about. Couldn't hear her, apart from a few boos from the Bomber supporters, who, as you said, felt like they were on the. Well, no, you didn't say this, but they felt like they were on the wrong side of the free kick ledger. Clearly not, but. Couple of goals from 50-metre penalties.
They got a few of those, didn't they?
A couple of absolute gifts. Thank you very much. And a couple of other ones that got them pretty close too, inside 50. But I didn't really rate the the umpiring in general, mate. I don't know. What did you think about the standard of umpiring at AFLW level? To me, it's like Auskick. It's just, let them get away with it. It's fine. They're learning, blah, blah, blah. This competition's come a long way in the last, I don't know how many years now it's been going for, but I think we probably need to maybe just tune up the umpiring a little bit, maybe just fix some interpretations, because they're just letting everything go.
Yeah, the standard is absolutely not as high as what we see in the men's comp, and that's obviously a shame. Now, I understand there's differences in the way you perhaps need to umpire, because the girls can't kick it as far, the strength's not quite the same, so you maybe let it go a little bit longer in terms of tackles and those sort of things, give them more opportunity to clear the ball, because you can still get that, even though the game's not being intended to play that way, you can still get that rolling scrum thing that was kind of ugly in the men's comp for a few years. You get that a little bit simply due to the fact that the women just can't clear the same sort of distance with a kick or a handball. And so you kind of get that result in the end. So I don't blame the umpires for being a bit slower on the whistle and allowing time for maybe someone to break free and actually get the ball out of the contest. But everything else, there's still a lot of really bad decisions being made, and to that, they want people to take the competition seriously. Well, then you need to take the umpiring seriously as well.
Are we allowed to single out umpires on this show? Is that what we're about? I'm going to anyway.
We can't pick. I'm not that he had anything to do with today. We can't pick on Razor. He's our.
We're not picking on Ray. Razor Ray. If you haven't checked that show out, check it out. I'm sure that's
behind the play. Go check it out.
Nice little plug there. Ching ching. One curly head umpire. Absolutely no idea. He was paying free kicks from 100 metres away. He was missing other ones. He's trying to insert himself when he didn't need to, and then swallowed the whistle at other times. I don't know what was going on there, but Curly, you're not playing next week, mate. Or you're not umpiring next week. I don't know. You're a joke. No, it's a tough gig. It is a tough gig. It's running around all day long. It wouldn't get me doing it. I'd make 1,000 mistakes if I was umpiring, but then again, I'm not getting paid to do it. So I don't know what they get paid at that level, but who knows. What did you like? Let's talk about some players, because there's one player I really want to get stuck in. I want to address this right off the top. Aisling Maloney. Well, who are you going to say?
No. That's where I was going. So,
what do we love about her? Absolutely everything. She had Tommy Hawkins' 2011 grand final moment today. She came out of who is this woman? Came out of the box. Not Tommy Hawkins. Aisling Maloney, unbelievable. She was clunking everything. She kicked 2 goals.
But also just read the ball incredibly well too. There was a fair few scenarios where she just positioned herself right, and you could tell that the Essendon defender, it wasn't that she'd bodied someone out or something like that. She just put herself in the right spot, and the ball just fell into her laps, maybe being a little bit disrespectful. That's not quite what I mean by it, but she just knew exactly where to be, was right there, right when she needed to be, and then palmed the ball beautifully. So
she was palming it.
Really picked up the game so incredibly well.
She's playing the finals footy where if you can't take possession or you're hot, someone's on you, don't take possession. Just get it forward, move it on.
That little kick off the ground for Jackie Parry early in the piece.
Goal assist. And then Jackie, I couldn't believe that one. Jackie Parry I thought she's fumbled this a little bit. And then 2 Essendon players just ran past her. I'm like, she's just like, I've got all the time in the world. I'm just going to snap this one on my right foot. Goal, bang. 3 goals or 4 goals up we were. I can't remember what we were at that point, but we're having a good old time. So that was great. But she was fantastic. I tried my hardest, Paul, to encourage the Twitter followers of the Hoop Show to vote her in for in the Roll of Honour. I'm going to bring it up now, Paul. It's not great.
Well, I mean, look, we love Georgie, and like I kind of get where people might be coming from because, you know, to your point before, she dominated the game and she only played for 3/4 of it. But Aisling Maloney is an absolute jet, deserves it, and so I'm making the call now on behalf of yourself and the Hoop Show more broadly. We don't like doing this to the community. You're fantastic. You do an amazing job.
We've never done it before.
We love you lots, but we're vetoing.
It is what it is, people.
And so, Aisling Maloney, I know you've got the graphic already set up with George in it to respect the viewers. I've got no such respect for the viewers right now in this moment.
I'll tell you what, I do have respect for the Twitter follower who must have been one of them that voted Chloe Shear for the sympathy vote. And we might as well talk about Chloe Shear now. And really, really sad. She's I don't know the full extent of the injury yet. I'm not sure if the club knows until we get some scans. But they are saying she looked like she's hurt her shoulder, and they are saying she's very unlikely to play next Sunday against Melbourne, which is a real shame. She's one of our probably top 5 players at the club.
Yeah.
She's absolute class, and I just don't know how we're going to. I don't know who the replacement will be for her. I think it's a totally different forward line setup. Hopefully, Aisling Maloney plays an absolute starring role again. 2 weeks in a row, we might be asking. It is Christmas nearly, so
between Aisling and Jackie Parry, if they can kick 4 or 5 between them, then
good.
Then we're off to a damn good start because that does in the women's game with the typical scorelines we see there, that positions you pretty well. Because then if they've kicked 4 or 5 between them, you've probably got Georgie kicking 1. You've got amazing clearances and goals like Amy Max today. And suddenly you've got yourself 10 goals on the scoreboard and looking pretty potent. So
it's going to have to come from everywhere, and I think we're going to have to play a very defensive type game. I don't think it's going to be as freewheeling, high scoring as what it was. But just while we're still on Chloe, there was a couple of moments from the game. I was at the game and just really sad seeing her come off. I saw her come off and go straight down the race, but then came out a bit later, maybe at halftime or something like that, with the jacket on and all that. And she was given high five, in tears, but she was like trying to pump up the crowd at the same time. It was like all the emotions, mate, in the world, all the feels. It was great. I mean, a couple of people, I think BJ, who's in the chat as well, was close by. I did spot you there, BJ. I just saw you near the race, but just seeing her come off and just trying to gee the crowd up, and then seeing her at the end in tears, surrounded by her teammates, giving her hugs and trying to console her. It was really hard. She's probably not playing next week, and if somehow, some way we get over the D's and make a prelim, it feels really unlikely that she'll make that one as well. So, but it was a shame.
So who knows? Maybe we can maintain a run long enough for a grand final, and maybe that's enough time for her to get herself right. Shoot her shoulder up for a day and drag her through it.
Exactly.
She can do a Stevie J and just fake her way through some tests. And I mean, it's not her knee. Just swing that thing. Don't worry about
it. That's it. She should have done that. Walk up and down the boundary line. The crowd was up and about. The crowd would have got right behind her, but it would have been good just for 10. But she had it all strapped up, and I saw a bloke in the crowd with his arm in a sling with the Geelong logo on it. So I don't know. I haven't seen them selling those kind of slings before.
I found from personal experience actually, if you get a few personalities under your belt, then suddenly the shoulder's not an issue. So it's story time now, I guess. Old one from a few years back. 10, 11 years ago now. I dislocated my shoulder one night playing basketball, and then the very next night was our Year 12's graduation that night. Rolled up in the sling. Didn't plan on going too crazy because I've only got one arm at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out I got legless as well. But before you knew it, there was a beer in the sling, there was a beer in the other hand, and then eventually the sling disappeared, and I'm just rolling around going, "Look, it's fine." So if she can. If she can just on the day of any test, not stink of alcohol, but also just pump a few into her beforehand, loosen up that shoulder and go, look, it's fine.
Ready to go. Why not? Just give her the jab. Send her out there, give her the jab. She's fine. Hello to anyone who's just joined us in the last couple of minutes. This is the Hoop Show. We're just getting stuck into the review.
About drunken stories.
No, but it's Sunday night. It's a perfect time for Paul to tell a story. We just need to change the background, have a little fireplace. Next time, Paul, I'll have that ready to go if you feel in the mood for a bit of a story on a Sunday night. I'm sure that just gets us in the mood. It winds us down a little bit as we move into the chat. Now, another thing I liked, and we'll talk about the game in a little bit more detail, but another thing I liked that happened at the end of the game, two of our favourites, Paul, on the show, Spud and Darbs. A big hug at the end. Darbs, clearly, he didn't play, got suspended, but it was
pretty
great.
Excited to be back next week.
It was great seeing Spud or the Sermonator run up to Harbs on the boundary at the end of the game. Big hug. Dubs was getting hugs from everyone. They were loving it. So I think she might be straight back in.
They're pretty keen to have her back next week, I think.
I think it could be like for like replacement. We'll talk about the D's game in a little bit, but and interesting here in the comments too what other people think about how that's all going to play out. But yeah, really happy for Darbs. Happy that she gets a chance, hopefully, to play next week. And really good to see all the girls get around her as well. That was fantastic. Now, what I liked,
good to see.
Go, Paul. Sorry, cut you off.
No, it's good. It's good to see. It'll be good to have her back, and hopefully, can pop a few between the sticks and get us off to a great start next week.
Yeah, 10 hit-outs, a couple of goals, put someone on their butt. That'd be nice. There was a bit of that today. I loved it. Shelley Scott, while we're on that, a bit of rough stuff. Shelley Scott was flying the flag at one point. I think one of the Bombers players, I don't know who it was, but dumped Aisling Maloney when it went out of bounds. And Shelley Scott comes in from about 20 metres away and I think gives away our fourth 50-metre penalty in about.
To be fair, I thought that was a bit rubbish on the umpire's part. It was a pretty light.
They were hot on it though.
Yeah. They were pretty twitchy. I don't think there was actually nearly enough in that to justify.
Oh, they had the umpire tingle. It was like, oh, I got to pay a free. Oh, I got this. The hairs on my arm are tingling. I've got to pay some free kicks.
I haven't called one in a little while. I better pull the trigger.
Oh, mate, that was crazy. What I liked all day, I was about to say what I liked from the whole game. Let's just rule out the last quarter because the game was over, 36, 38 points up, whatever it was. The pressure that we showed all over the ground, inside forward 50, through the midfield, even when it got Gunjaka taking marks down back, couldn't miss a beat. We were just all over them. They could not breathe. We were suffocating them left, right, and centre. It was one of the greatest Geelong performances in the AFLW that I reckon I've ever seen, and it came on the most important day. Hopefully, we do it
one
again
of
next
so
week.
far.
So far. What did you like about the game, Paul? What was there any sort of moments or any players in individuals? We talked about the Prasparkas. We haven't talked about have we compared the two yet? But what did you like about what was something that really stood out to you?
Maddie and Georgie.
Yeah, the Prasparkas Cup.
I think Georgie gets the points. And I think getting the win kind of helps there. But I think Georgie takes the chocolates for this particular one. But at the same time, Maddie absolutely didn't disgrace herself. We touched on her stats before. It was 20 disposals and 2 goals. So Maddie, absolutely kind of really kept him in it when it came to the actual scoreboard. And you'd argue they were never in it. But, numerically speaking, she kept him in the game. I don't know. Like, I think we've touched on a lot of the real highlights already. I don't know. I don't know if too much bias starting to creep out, but Amy Mack with the 11 tackles as well for the game.
Oh, we love Amac.
So
can we get her on the show? Can we get Amac on the show?
We've got to do that. I don't think there's a player I've spoken about more on the show than Amy. So we need to find a way to get her on board. But Nina Morrison doing what Nina Morrison does, just lots of pressure, just consistently.
Yeah. She had a type of game, a real finals type of game. Didn't get a stack of it, but played finals type footy. Just was hard over the ball. She was even getting
Nemo, you mean?
Yeah, Nemo. She was getting Bombers' faces a little bit as well. That was great to see. She was all over it. She was just doing all the tough stuff, all the 1%ers. I loved her game. I couldn't quite fit her in some of the best players, but I just thought she was terrific. Absolutely terrific.
And just the cleanliness of the disposal all day. Like, recognize the occasion, and they were just so unbelievably clean. And we obviously speak about, Aisling Maloney taking early, those early marks. I think, that opening play really kind of set it up. Some of your best users to then finish in the hands of someone who's, despite, been playing the game for about 10 weeks to this point, is just unbelievably clean in front of the sticks as well. So
no preseason.
I think that really set a tone for the girls as well, and they just rode the way from there. So
yeah, no, absolutely terrific. There was another highlight moment. I think it was Parry. It was reminded. She took a mark against in between 3 Bombers, and it reminded me of Gary Ablett when that game in the 90s or whatever, where he's playing against Essendon and he goes up like that and sort of just gets smashed from both sides and just clunks it absolutely. And comes down with, I don't know if you remember that one, but you see it on the highlight reels all the time. Get on YouTube later on, people. You're already on YouTube after you watch this show. Maybe
after you finish this.
After you've watched this show, give it a good run, and after you've shared it and recommended it to all your friends and family. So that was fantastic. But yes, we've talked about the 50-metre penalties. Thank you very much, umpires. I was really happy for Renee Gehring. Gets to go around one more time, maybe three more times.
Hopefully one of 3
definitely gets another game. Good old Nene. I love it that she's getting a win, first win in the hoops. I'd hate for her to finish her career without a win in the hoops in a final. So good for her. And a bit of a sad one, Paul, which I only found out about sort of later in the piece. Skipper's dad, Meg Mack's dad, sadly,
rough week.
Unexpectedly passed away during the week. So we know, Meg, you're probably not watching the show, but if anyone who knows Meg's watching, please pass on our best wishes to her and her family. And yeah, you played well.
To her great credit, on the field, you would not have known that anything had happened.
No idea.
I mean, she's obviously carrying a lot of baggage at the moment. And you feel horrible for her. And as you've already said, we wish her nothing but the best. But that on-field performance, she was just so strong through the contest. She was in the zone. And whether there was that little bit of extra motivation from family family support and dad looking down or any of those sorts of things, whatever people might choose to believe, she was really white hot today. So fantastic performance from the skipper.
Yeah, it was good to see her teammates getting around her and showing her a bit of love as well. So that was fantastic. All right, moving on to happier things, Paul. We've got a semi-final next Sunday, around about, I think it's about 3:05 or something like that, down at Icon Park or up at Icon Park, whichever direction. Probably down for you, I suppose. Up for me.
Yeah.
But we're playing. Can you believe it? We're playing Melbourne. I thought there was no chance. I had it in the show. I already did the show notes in advance saying we're playing Kangaroos. We're probably going to break our duck against them. We haven't beaten them yet. Now we play against Melbourne, who we
won't get to deal with North until the grand final if we play them again. So
no, and we'll tick another one off in that game. So yes, Melbourne up or down there, wherever you're coming from, as I said. And Melbourne, what do you think? The boys, the men, they can't win a final of these days. And now it's what do you count? Well, let's just say I got a feeling the club is going to be known. It's a straight sets club. That's what it is, Melbourne. So enjoy another week in the comp, but you're going out in straight sets. Unfortunately, you got ahead of yourself a bit like the men's team in 2022. You had a nice little 10 or 11 wins to start the year off, and you had this winning streak going for a while, and then you got a bit carried away with yourself. We're getting a bit carried away because we've just had a win and we're in the finals and we're still in the semi. So we're fans. We're
the plucky contender really. When it comes
we are up and about Geelong.
But they've just been pumped by 41 points. Last week they got a little bit of a flogging from the Lions as well by to the tune of about 4.5 goals as well. Just double checking round 9. Okay, they touched up Freo there, but that's flat track bully sort of business. They did actually. It was only about 3 weeks ago where they smacked North around. So but at the same time, they're not playing that cohesive brand of footy that they'll that obviously has gotten them premierships and makes them the reigning premiers and has had them positioned so well all season. They're off. So as Brendan's saying, let's talk straight sets.
Why not?
Let's as a club, let's send them out in straight sets.
Let's do it. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be absolutely fantastic if we sent them out nice and early? Absolutely fantastic. Now, I think we talked about Kate Darby. I think Kate comes straight back in. I think Melissa Bragg, who came in as coverage for Kate, I think she might hold a spot. I don't think we're going to want to make too many changes to a winning formula. I think Chloe Shear probably we're going to have a taller side. I just don't think there's a replacement for Chloe Shear. I think you're better off hoping that the weather at this stage is saying 27 degrees. So a nice hot day. You can probably take the risk with the taller side. In the wet, you might want to go a bit shorter. But I think I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I think it'll be a close game. I'm sitting here a few hours after the win on Sunday night, feeling cock-a-hoop. I'm going to say right now, Cats by 10 points against Melbourne at Icon Park on Sunday night. What's your early prediction, Paul? And you do reserve the right to change your prediction as the week goes on. Yeah,
I do reserve the right. But the D's are stinking it up right now. So I'm going to tip the straight sets outcome. And I think, the Cats by about 2 goals.
Cats by 2 goals. I think so. I think that's about right. You were pretty close today. I think with you've got one goal.
Jeez. I was looking at that and going, hang on, I'm a genius here. The score, not just the margin. I mean, I got the BOG wrong, but also you could make an argument that AMAC was right there and thereabouts as well. But nearly had those scores perfect. It's just one goal at the very end went the wrong direction and it blew it up on me. So, thanks to Cats for putting the cue in the rack there.
what you going to do? Can't do much. Now, some
We
other
can.
results, mate.
Take
Some
them.
other results before we get onto the rest of the AFL news of the week. But Brisbane.
Well, ours was, I guess,
Right?
just before you lead into those, like
Oh,
ours was really the only game where the favourite kind of won. I think
yes.
every other game here is an upset. So
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's it. You can always bank on the Cats, is what they say. So go Cats. Yeah, but everyone else was an upset. My tipping, if you watch my tipping videos, which I don't know why you do, but if you do, but not good again. So I'll be having another whinge on Wednesday afternoon. And when I do my tipping video, I got one out of 4 again.
You got
the one that matters. Pick the Cats, and you can't go wrong. We've won 4 out of the last 5. We are the form team at the moment. I don't think. Well, maybe
the Lions.
Lions probably the other team, but yeah, I think you wouldn't want to play Geelong, is what I'm saying. So, Melbourne, get ready. We're coming hard. We're coming hard for you. Should we talk about the other results?
Yeah, go for
it. Brisbane defeated Adelaide on the early Saturday game. I think it was the early one, by 2 points. Can you believe Adelaide choked that one? I thought they were rolling Brisbane at one stage there, and then somehow they let Brisbane back into the game, and it was a thrilling last minute or two of that game. But yeah, Brisbane held on and secure a home prelim final, and Adelaide got to do it all over again. Thankfully, they've got the double chance and a home final again against Sydney, I think it is,
Sydney.
up there. So they should win that one. Sydney surely can't go through it last season without a
dead
win.
Last. Winless.
And then knock out Adelaide in straight sets. Surely not. Surely.
But you never know. Crazy things happen.
Crazy things happen. Essendon might win a final one day. Crazy things do happen.
Well, look, I'm pretty glad that we're going to make it to 20 years of this drought, thanks to the effort today. So great job, girls.
We'll see.
Love you.
Now, we did talk about Sydney. Sydney defeated the Gold Coast Suns. I've got a soft spot for the Gold Coast Suns. I was a bit sad to see them lose that one, and I've also sad that we had to let Laura Gardner go to the Swans at the end of last year. She's absolutely killing it for the Swans. Former Cat. Absolutely dominating for the Swans, pretty much getting 30 touches a game most weeks. Unfortunately, we had to let her go. We've got some absolute guns at other clubs that have left the Cats. If we could just hang on to them all, that'd be great. But maybe we'll be a club of destination soon, Paul. Maybe that's what's just around the corner. The other game we talked about, we haven't really talked about, is the North Melbourne versus Melbourne game. We are playing Melbourne this weekend coming, and North by 41 points. Absolute domination from go to woe from that one. So watch the tail end of that game, the second half, because I was getting back from the footy, the Cats game, but some absolute surprising results all around, Paul.
Yeah, and especially really kind of capped by that result between North and D's. Not saying that the North didn't deserve to win or never had a chance to begin with, because they have been an exceptional team all season, but certainly the D's had kind of been widely considered, one or two kind of the benchmark, and that there was a bit of daylight between those top two teams and the rest. But North put them to the sword. So I don't know if that ends up boding well or not for us next week. The D's could be coming in pretty stung and keen to fire back, but I don't know. We're coming with good form. They're not. Let's hope that counts for something.
Bit of confidence. I think D's a shot.
Straight sets, 2 goals.
Straight sets, 2 goals, 10 points, whatever. Take your pick. Probably go with Paul at the moment because my tips are crap. All right, so other news, mate. Other news in the world of the AFL. And let's keep it Geelong. Let's keep the flavour of Geelong going.
Yeah, we don't care about the rest.
We don't care about the rest. Well, I'll mention the Bulldogs only because the fixture, part of the AFL's 2024 fixtures come out, and it looks like we're playing the Bulldogs in round 5 in Gather Round over in Adelaide. So it's another Geelong home game in Adelaide. Go figure, 2 years in a row.
Whatever works.
Doggies, I don't know. I really want to get to this game if I can. I want to, even if I don't think I'm going to try and catch a plane because they just put the prices up on these airfares. So I might just have to get some petrol in the car and do the road trip. I'm thinking about it. We'll see if I can make it happen. No guarantees, but I would love to do the first road trip of 2024 on this show.
That'd be pretty cool.
Make that happen, I will. If I can make it happen, I will. So that'll be good. So I'm already picking that as a win. Cats by no, it's a bit early to predict that after how the season plays out. But clearly Cats win that one easily and come back to play the next 3 games at Kinnear Park, surely. And I think we've already spoken about. I think last week we got our first game at home at Kinnear Park in front of the 40,000. The stadium's looking beautiful, mate. Absolutely beautiful. It's keen
to get over there for probably what'll end up being a Big Bash game before I
see
the footy.
Maybe.
Well, no, it probably won't be a Big Bash game because to hell with the Renegades. But I'm a Stars fan.
I'm a Renegades man, but They did have a Renegade Stars game one time, but I want a Geelong team. I like the Renegades, but as soon as they get a Geelong team, I'm jumping off. There you go. That's how it is. Sorry, Renegades.
That's fair too.
I want, got to have it. I think the competition's got to do a little bit better first, but it is what it is. Now, this has just broken in the last couple of hours, Paul. It's not major news, but it's Geelong news, so I've got to use it if I can. John Ralph, who is from Herald Sun and other various outlets, is reporting that Ollie Dempsey is a chance to be elevated to the senior list in 2024. So the draft is not too far away now. It's like 8 days away from the AFL National Draft, but it looks like Ollie Dempsey might be taking one of those list spots. But that might be, who knows, they might sort of wait and see who they're picking up in the draft in those first few picks before they make that decision. I don't know if that's possible or not, but I might sound like a total idiot saying that. But I'm not an expert. I'm not a draft scientist about how all this works. But that is the rumor at the moment that Ollie Dempsey might have earned himself a spot, which would be nice for him. And he's bulking up in the gym too. Have you seen the photos of him?
I've seen those, and obviously he's been playing exceptional footy for the Cats as well. Yep. So he pops into the AFL team and is a strong contributor. He's been dominating in the VFL. Get around him, and it absolutely deserves the spot. And I guess it creates some options as well on that rookie list. So
it does. Surely we've got some absolute star rookies here. We've had Brad Close and Tom Atkins there for a while. How do you like that segue to Tom Atkins? He just got married the other day. So congratulations, Tommy Atkins. And I'm not sure of your partner's name, but Tommy Atkins got married.
They're very lucky, I'm sure.
Very lucky. Well done. I think a few of the Cats boys were there. And another segue, Paul. I'm on fire with the segues. I saw lots of Cats boys at the game today supporting the girls. Scratcher O'Neill and
Joel was there. Yeah, Danger was there.
Danger was there, was he?
Tommy Stewart was there. They're all queuing up.
All up and about. Yep. Busey, I've seen Busey there a few times. Who else did I see there today? Saw Daisy Pearce last week. She was there. I think she was commentating in the other game today, but she was there as well.
They let her in the rooms there.
Yeah. I think probably just with the other draft story, Paul, I don't know how you feel about this one, but would you be okay if the Cats traded pick 8?
Absolutely not.
You want to pick 8?
I personally have some. I mean, we're getting real close to the draft now. I've got some eyes on a few prizes that I'd love to see the Cats strongly consider when the time comes. So, pretty hopeful that we're taking home a Nate Caddy or a Riley Sanders.
Is that caddy related to the other caddy that was a turncoat?
He's Josh
Caddy's I don't know how I feel about that.
His nephew.
How I feel about that.
So, look, loyalty wasn't necessarily a strength of Josh Caddy from Gold Coast to Geelong.
He won 3 premierships, but anyway.
Yeah, found himself pretty loyal once the flag started coming. But, so Nate Caddy's his nephew. So we'll see. But he's an interesting one in that he kind of plays that tall forward role, but he's also about 193 centimeters. So he's not quite, doesn't have the height necessary of your, especially the prototypical tall forward these days. But that height does allow him to actually go play in the midfield from time to time. He kind of cuts it up there. So he's one that I know the club is pretty interested in, and certainly kind of fulfills a need for us, even if he's not going to add too much more when it comes to height. And Riley Sanders is just an absolute jet as well. So if he happens to slip down that far, look, the Cats are going to have some good options to work with. I think they'd be very, very foolish to trade out pick 8 unless they're splitting picks for something that is, like pick 11 and 12, like something really, really close where you're still getting into that really top end cream, then I don't want anything of it.
Yeah, I still think Geelong and West Coast do a pick swap. I'm sure. I think Harley
will take pick 1. Harley Reid will come.
I think Harley Reid still comes to Geelong. Surely,
no point. He'll come to Geelong when he wants to come home and
he's go
play for the club that he supported in his childhood. So
he's coming. And
just like Will Ashcroft, he'll be on the way. So
they're both coming the same year. That'd be great, wouldn't it? We get him in the store the same year. So see you, Danger. See you, Guthrie. Hello. Harley Reid.
We'll just bring in Harley Reid, Will Ashcroft, and we'll take Bailey Smith as well.
Come in as well. Come in. Come in. Join.
Everyone's
welcome.
We'll dial down the sniffing jokes because I don't think we'll ever be able to get him on the show once he's a Cats player.
No, we probably shot ourselves in the foot already with that. You started that one, so I'll pull myself up.
I'll blame my students for that, and if any of them watching or listening, it's your fault too because you kind of got in my head with those jokes.
Oh, well, there you go. Last thing I wanted to talk about, mate, and it's not a plug for the club, but it's just for me, it's exciting because the new stand's coming and they are memberships for next year are out, but also you can start putting your name down for a seat in the new stand. It doesn't have to be the new stand, but I think you've got a few options of where you want to sit. So you can multiple options down there if you want, if you don't particularly care. I think we put our name down for the new stand, the Northern Stand, as it's currently called, and also for the player stand as well. So that'll be something for us. So excited. I don't know. Hopefully we get a few games there next year. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
So that's it. So, Paul, what have we got coming up on the show? We still haven't got any behind the play stuff coming up, but I'm working on a calling the fish. Are we calling him a fish or are we calling him a whale?
I don't know. I'll leave you to make any big calls there. You're the one that's having these conversations behind the scenes, so you've got a better sense for where some of these are at. But we are kind of and again, you specifically are kind of in the throes of putting some of these pieces together so that we hit the ground running pretty hard next preseason / season proper. With I
tell you who I really want to get. There's one person I really want to get, but someone else who's
Captain
from the
Joel.
AFLW team, from the AFLW team, Ashley Maloney. I want to get her on.
I
want to get her on. I don't know if I'll understand her, but I want to get her on the show.
You don't have that problem. It's me that's got to have the conversation. So
I'll just message.
Sorry, my headset's not working. What was that? Speak up.
Lost in translation. Everyone, Paul especially, thank you for watching us tonight. Thank you for joining in, having a good old chat about the Cats. It's lots of fun, especially when you win a final, and we'll do it again next week. Paul, hopefully we'll be here again. I'm pretty sure I will be, I think, unless the cold or the man flu gets me or something like that. But it's been lots of fun, as it always is. So thank you, everyone, for your attendance. As we always say, go Cats, stay Geelong strong, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone.
Drink up, Chloe. It'll fix your shoulder.
Jabber up.